Hello, everyone. We are playing Summer School Hogwarts with the Gauntlet. We are starting with our second session. This is a Gauntlet game, so it is covered by the Gauntlet inclusivity policy. The Gauntlet is a community for online games, which you can find in the links on the comments of this video. Uh, we are playing using lines and veils as well as the X card and script change. Uh, the lines and veils will be on our character keeper. Feel free to consult that and add whatever you feel necessary. Treat that as a living document. We also have an open table policy, so if at any moment you need to take a break or you need to leave for some reason, just inform us and we'll accommodate that. Now, we're going to go around before we start the game proper, and we're going to introduce ourselves and our characters. Uh, Last session, which did not exist and nobody can prove otherwise because YouTube ate the video, we met with two of our first year students as they traveled through the Hogwarts Express. The strange encounters that they had, as well as the first impressions that they caused, inflicted, let's say, upon the school staff and the events of the sorting ceremony. So let's go by the order of character keeper.
Oh, I think that's.
I'm showing David.
Is that me?
Oh, there you
yeah,
are.
it is. I am. Sorry, I just muted. Hello, I'm Dave Walker, and I'm playing Alistair McLagan, who is a Slytherin first year student with a healthy love of the history of dragons. Oh.
Sorry, couldn't find the mute button. I apologize. I'm Pearl. I use she and her pronouns, but you can call me whatever you like in terms of gender neutral ones if that's more comfortable. I am playing Griselda. I'm a Gryffindor with a love of mischief, a fierce loyalty towards certain reticent dragon-loving Slytherins, and a general enthusiasm for just about everything other than doing what she's told.
That pesky mute button. Hi, I am Maria. I use she, her pronouns. You can also use they, them if you want to not use gender. But I am playing Lauren Slim. He was not around last session, so I guess we'll be meeting him. He is a Muggle-born student, and he's very... I don't think his parents really knew that much about well, they don't know about magic. But he's, in the short time since he found out that he was magical, been trying to figure out as much as possible. So he's got this enthusiasm for figuring out this new world, and he is a Gryffindor. But I think he's a little bit less mischievous than Griselda. At least he tries to do what people think that he should do. But we'll see. And that is Lawrence.
Hello, I'm Pavel. I use he, him pronoun. And today I am playing Argus Schmidt, who is a young pure-blood wizard who also just arrived to the school. He has, his mother has dyed his hair in a blue so that he's like a true Ravenclaw and everyone can see that he's Ravenclaw even from a distance. He believes that he should be always honest and not some sneaky lying thing. So I wonder how far this will get him being honest and nice. That's what I know so far. He has like an ornate wand because his parents like really spent some cash on it. So it's like a nice, almost like a ornated like a cannon. It's like a really fat wand. And he has a cat called Schwartz, who is like all black except for a little tie at the front. So yeah, that's Argus. He's also short, so he's like a perfectly made to make fun of. So we will see.
So we start our game at the first night of the new year, and we zoom in past the clouds and into the Gryffindor Tower, and we see muffled footsteps. When we get to Lawrence, why was Lawrence unable to sleep?
Lawrence was unable to sleep because Lawrence has been imagining what it's actually like to start doing magic. He, after getting his textbooks from Florsch and Blatz, he of course was, reading through it, being like, I don't know anything. I don't want to look like I don't know anything, even though I don't think people will be expecting to know anything about me. So he's just sitting there, staying up, reading a textbook, trying to like impress people that he's not this completely backwards muggle-born person. Like, I do know some things, is what he's thinking in his head. So kind of like last-minute research.
So what is he hoping to find in the Gryffindor Tower?
Friends. He wants friendship to be magic.
Sneaking around in the middle of the night?
Okay.
Unlikely, but maybe he'll get lucky because he's not the only one that cannot sleep. So why is Griselda not in bed?
Griselda's not in bed because nighttime is the best time for sneaking around and looking for things, friends or otherwise. And she's already working on her own personal version of the Marauders map that will be developed in much greater form later. And just figuring out who sleeps where and like who's hanging out with whom, and if there are any doors that seem to be like slightly hidden that she might want to go through. No malicious intent. She just likes to, have as much information as she can at her disposal to use as she sees fit. And she'd be happy to make a new friend. Always happy to make new friends.
So the question comes is, who goes ahead and reveals themselves if they hear any noise in the middle of the night? Or will both of them try to stay hidden?
I think Lawrence looks
if
around.
I have any inkling that it's not... If I have an inkling that it's not a professor, I will happily introduce myself once I've confirmed that. I don't know exactly. Yeah.
So I guess what happens is that once you are done with your respective explorations around the tower, you found the both of you in the common room of the Gryffindors.
Is Griselda like?
And just
sorry.
go ahead.
I was just wondering,
is messing us all up.
Sorry, I was just wondering if Griselda is like actively looking like she's doing magic over something, or just looking at.
Oh no, not yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's always better if you plan it out first. You know what
Okay.
you're getting into. So I'm more like scoping than I am magicking. I don't have anything to magic just yet. But I would be happy to introduce myself to you if you would like. Or you can come up to me, whichever you prefer.
I think Lawrence would walk up and be like, "What are you doing?" In a sort of curious, "You're also awake. Are you like studying too?" Which is a weird thing for a Gryffindor common room, perhaps, but he doesn't know that.
And Griselda doesn't care, so it works out well. I'm looking at things. What are you doing?
I'm reading this book. And he holds up a copy of the Charms textbook.
Getting some advanced reading in. Very studious of you. Very it's downright Hufflepuffy. Or Ravenclaw, rather. But presumably, since you're here, you're a Gryffindor, which means we should be friends. I'm Griselda.
I'm Lawrence. It's nice to meet you.
Might I ask your name?
Oh, there we go.
Enchanté, Lawrence. So I don't think we got a chance to meet before. You're into charms?
I don't know what I'm into yet. But this book had short things in it and seemed less complicated than the Transfiguration book. So I thought I would start with this one.
It's very practical. Good thinking.
Yes.
And what have you learned?
I learned that I don't know how to do anything. But there's the spell for cleaning things that maybe I'll try later.
Well, that's why we're here.
Yes.
Oh, I know that one. So if you want to try it together, we can work on it together. I don't know really any charms though, other than that. So if that's your thing, I'm afraid I can't help you out. But I'd love to borrow the book sometime when you're done with it. Although I suppose, do I have my own copies of the standard charms book, or is it one brought from home?
I think it's the standard charms book.
Okay.
He's very default.
So we'll
wizard.
be getting to it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I need to keep investigating things, just because at some point I should sleep before the morning classes. Would you like to join me?
Sure.
Otherwise, I'm afraid I must take my leave.
Let's investigate things.
Wonderful. All right. Perfect. Do we have anything to
do?
Hiding and sneaking doesn't really do anything, or convincing someone. Gaining knowledge about a person, object, situation, or place. I'd like to roll to gain some knowledge and see if I can find something useful around here.
Okay, so let's say that Lawrence can help.
Secret entryway, whatever else.
So first of all, Lawrence can do the help move.
Does that help or hinder someone?
Yeah.
Roll plus loyalty. So should Griselda roll first, or?
Whatever order you prefer. We're going to resolve them at the same time.
Or I guess at the same time, yeah. $11 for the help roll.
Wonderful.
Okay, so you get choices then based on that. So let's see which choice you do depending on the roll.
Yes.
So I got a 9, which means that if you give me the +1, I get a 10.
Yep.
But you can also do the gap. So I gain the knowledge I wanted, and I can ask the question. I can ask you, Ludo, a question, and you must give me a true answer. Ha 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 ha.
I think I'll give you the +1 to the roll.
It's either. Thank you. Your other choices would be to stop me, and I'm not taking a condition, I don't think. So I appreciate that. So I either want to ask what here isn't what it seems to be, or what is the thing I'm looking for, because really those are the same thing. So whichever one of those questions makes more sense for you to give me an answer about something, like a hidden door, a special book that shouldn't be there, something that people wouldn't want me to find in Gryffindor Commons. That's the question I'm asking, since those two are similar.
So on the third floor of the Gryffindor common rooms. There seems to be a bunch of doors that seem to contain just cleaning supplies and whatnot, except one of them clearly is not the kind. You open multiple times the nearby ones and open that one again, and you realize that there is a lot of space between these three rooms that is not accounted for. So you suspect that there is a secret passage. And after feeling around and waving your wand around for a bit, you are pretty sure that one of the portraits is strangely here, and the portrait is covering a passage, and the figure on the portrait, it seems to be uh, a wizened wizard, and it seems to be asleep now. Do you think you can just put it aside and check into the passage?
Yes. I'm just writing it down. So I'm trying to take better notes. Well, Lawrence, are you up for a bit of adventure?
What time is it? I guess this is an out of character question. Like, is it really late at night? Like, should they be going to sleep?
I would say it's past midnight.
Yeah. We're definitely sneaking around.
All right. I think Lawrence will ponder and then go, well, this is like the first person I've really talked to. Let's have an adventure. And so Lawrence goes, yeah. Where are we going? Do you know where this goes?
No, that's the whole point. It doesn't seem to go to a cleaning room. Which everything else around here seems to. So.
Why do wizards have cleaning rooms if we have cleaning charms?
There's more than one way to get something done. I imagine. Probably not all those cleaning things are really cleaning things. I'm not taking anything for granted at this point. I do wish we could get Mac. He's my best friend, but he's a Slytherin, and I'm just not sure I can touch with him, or that he wouldn't just be furious that I interrupted his sleeping time. So I think it's just you and me, Lawrence. Have you the bravery of a Gryffindor?
Well, yes, says Lawrence, somewhat tentatively.
Not quite the enthusiasm I was looking for, but I'll take it. All right, we'll work on that. Continuing on, then, I'll push the painting aside, and there is in fact a secret passage. Yes.
Yes, and it seems to go deep into the darkness.
Is it really dark?
How very exciting.
Does any of you has a light charm?
No, I don't.
No, it's one of the first ones we're going to learn, right? The Lumos one, but I don't think we've had any classes yet.
But Lawrence has a book of charms. Could we look it up in there, maybe? Or
is Lumos a charm?
Is Lumos a charm?
We can see what it is. It is a charm. It's a wand lightning charm. So we could attempt to learn the spell.
I don't know if there's a...
So you can learn a spell from a class, a mentor, a book, or even from another student. If another student teaches you a spell, they must successfully roll to help. You never have to roll to learn a spell or a potion unless the information is somehow to cast or concocted is somehow hidden. So it sounds like if we both learn it from the book, we don't even have to roll for it. We could just learn it.
The thing is, you have to spend XP to learn the spell.
Oh, I don't know.
But you can cast a spell if you don't.
Doesn't say so on the sheet.
No, it should.
I mean, I don't mind spending the XP, but it doesn't say that under the learning spells section. So, at least on the document I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to learn Lumos, by the way,
Yes, you can try to learn it now, and the caster spell will tell us how good you are at casting it. So, who wants to be the one casting?
I think Lawrence wants to try. I don't know how well it will go,
Let's see.
but he's like, I can use this knowledge that I
I'm-
have been studying. Although Griselda does seem more
if it doesn't
magical.
work, I can always try after you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you can try
yeah.
first, and then if it doesn't work, I can give it a go. I think
Yeah,
I have a high magic score, so
Lawrence doesn't. All right, how do I cast
but
spells?
go for it.
I gotta find out how to cast a spell. Oh, there it is. When you cast a
It's
spell, you
only plus
know.
magic.
You must mark a point of luck, then roll magic.
You don't need it because you have the book.
Okay. All right, so I will roll plus magic. People selected. That's a 5. Lawrence did not successfully cast the spell.
That's okay. It was a good
So,
first effort, I think.
Yeah, well, you're gonna get an advancement because you might experience.
It's true.
Yes.
What's the terrible result or serious consequence that the narrator will tell me?
So, you try to cast a light spell, but instead, you pretty much drain all the light from the common room, and whatever little entered the passageway, and it's complete, utter pitch darkness. And while trying to go back to where there is light, both of you are bit caught unprepared, and you fall down the stairs. And when you stop, you realize that you are not hurt, but you are not aware where you are and how you can go back to the common house or what awaits deeper into the passage.
Well, for
Oops.
someone who seemed hesitant about adventure, we certainly have found ourselves in the middle of one. I think I saw the description for the spell. Maybe I could give it a try and see if we can at least figure out where we are. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah. What could go wrong?
I mean, lots of things, but that's what an adventure is. So I will roll with plus magic, and I actually got an 11. So I have successfully cast Lumos, I believe it is, and there's light again, which is lovely. Where are we, Ludo?
So you seem to be in the middle of a massive round room where there seems to be a bit of water in the bottom, slowly dripping to the walls, and there are 4 different stairways that seem to come here, and you have no idea which one you came from,
We're
but
not at the base of one of them or anything.
no, it's like all
Okay.
of them fall on the same place. So we could probably have came rolling down any of those.
Are
Okay.
these, are they dusty? Can we see like marks from where we fell on them?
Actually,
Or is
yes.
that
All the others are very dusty, except for 2. One of them, there are some large dragging tracks through the dust. There's something massive was wriggling its way across the tunnel, stairway, and the other one is a bit more chaotic, and there are handprints on the dust. So you assume that's where you came from.
oh, there she's back. How much did you hear of that?
Almost nothing, and I have no idea what happened or why the window closed. So we were in a room with water dripping a bit and 4 staircases that seemed to not be distinct in where they led.
One was less dusty than the others.
Lawrence was able to distinguish 2 of them.
One that was less dusty, and one. What was the other characteristic?
Uh,
The one was less dusty, but because something big has been dragging its way through there.
oh,
Not because we've undusted it with our
Right.
ungainly falling. Okay.
Something big.
Well, I'm going to suggest that we attempt to get out of here before finding out what the big thing is. But I think I want to report this to Mac first thing tomorrow, as big things seem to be a specialty of his. But what do you say we beat a hasty retreat before we find out what has gotten all the dust off these stairs?
that sounds acceptable, but they have all those cleaning supplies. I think they really should use them on these. I think.
I am all for discussing the merits of how well the grounds are kept here when I'm not suspicious that a dragon might round the corner. Might we discuss them in front of the hearth in the common room?
We should put the hearth back in the common room. I think we made it dark. Yes, this sounds like a good plan.
So,
All right.
one of you makes me hide and sneak to see if you are able to get away from this, and the
Oh,
other
no.
can help.
I have a very low cunning, so I would suggest that be
I
your
have
roll.
the exact same cunning as you.
Oh.
A
Well,
-1. But I do
maybe
have
one of us can help or
loyalty.
hinder the other.
Yeah, I think I can help, maybe. I think I have one
I
more
have-
loyalty than you.
Yeah, do you want to do a help roll?
Yeah,
You do.
I'll do that. Reroll selected. I did not help very well. That is a 5.
Oh, bother. All right. So I'm not help or hindered, and there may be a serious consequence. Should I roll for my hiding and sneaking before you give us that serious consequence, potential serious consequence?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Here we go. And I'm rolling with, what did we just, oh, cunning, bother.
And I've
Yep,
marked 2
so that's a 5
experience.
as well. So I also get a mark of experience, and both of us are now in for some serious consequences. But that's all right. That's all in the spirit of the adventure, isn't it?
Yes.
So, as you are going to make your way back to what you assume it's the common room, you feel a couple of stones getting loose, and a brick falls down in front of you. And you get a glimpse to the other side of the brink, and you see someone, a female voice, in fact, dictating something to an automatic quill, and you can overhear. So far, I have not found any of them, but it seems even here that the publication is taking root. I am going to start tomorrow to interrogate people and extract confessions if they may be involved. As that is happening, the brick that was loose falls down the stairways, going bang, 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 all the way down. And you can see a movement inside. You can see the automatic wheel writing pom, 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 and then stopping. And then you can hear the steps, the rushing steps towards where you are and where the hole is. What do you do?
So I know we need to do something a bit more drastic, but can you remind? I really need to get one of those quills. That was awesome. It picked up on the sounds in the room, and it's like really effective. So you could use it for all kinds of things. Anyway, we should probably get out of here, but just don't let me forget. I'm a little bit forgetful. I think we should probably run away.
Yeah.
That's my best answer. Unless you feel like standing in the face of danger, but I don't feel like I'm quite ready to stand in the way of danger at the moment.
I think Lawrence is looking around at like the 4 different staircases around them, being like, which one is best? And kind of looks to Griselda as the more experienced magical person. Which one seems good?
I mean, probably one of the dusty ones.
Yes, let's do that.
So,
Takes a few steps towards like.
all right, I'm just going to use. Oh, sorry.
I
I
was
was going to use my very scientific method. Ink, bink, you stink. We should take that one.
Yep. And Lawrence starts,
And I just take off at a dead run.
Lawrence like follows.
So you end
I'm
up,
hoping it leads to Slytherin. That would be exciting.
you get to behind the painting, and you can slightly open to get the sight of another common room, and you can see that it's very traditionally decorated. Well, Griselda can, because for Lawrence, I assume this just looks like a madhouse, because while for Griselda, this seems decorated like a very high-class, wealthy wizarding home with a lot of tapestries and a lot of filigree and strange trophies and armors of strange houses everywhere, and all these portraits of snooty wizards and witches. And on the middle of that, you can see a small girl, her back to the teleported rooms, and a broom between her legs. She's trying to lift up.
Lift up the broom.
Like to fly.
She's trying to take off the ground
Yeah.
in the common room.
Yes.
Okay. Do we get the impression that she's bad at it and she's practicing, or she's trying to like escape out a window?
You get the feeling that she's trying to practice.
Where are we?
Okay.
Lawrence
So-
asks.
We're in luck, Lawrence. I think we've actually managed to get into the Slytherin common room. That's just what I was hoping. Max should be here. And he'll want to know about the Quill Woman and the Beast and the new... He's going to be very cross when we wake him up. You don't happen to have any, like, dragon books on hand that we could appease him with, do you?
No. One subject at a time is what Lawrence does.
Blast.
But we
Well,
could
starting
clean
tomorrow,
it
it's
up.
going to be several, but for today, I will let you keep that illusion. It's probably pretty clean if it's the Slytherin common room. They tend to be a fastidious bunch.
I don't know if Lawrence realizes this, though. It looks like, why are there tapestries everywhere?
I'm going to encourage you, Lawrence, just leave everything alone here. They're very particular, wonderful people, the Slytherins. Just a bit particular about things.
Okay.
So I'm going to go up to the wand, or not wand, the broomstick woman, girl, and like, excuse me there, friend.
She turns around and she seems bewildered, and she turns the broom in the air and points it towards you as if she was yielding a sword. And why don't you tell me how the two of you even look after, rolling, tumbling down the stairways and rushing up and down after tripping on bricks? What is she even
It's
looking?
a valid question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think probably my hat should be askew a bit. and we're probably covered in dust from the stairs, with a bit of blossoming bruising here and there from bumps and things, and maybe like a scrape or two. Just a bit worse for wear is what I imagine. What do you think, Lawrence?
I think that's true. I think Lawrence is like a smudge of like dirt on his face. Like he fell down and maybe dropped the book and tried to pick it up, but it was covered in dust, and then like sneezed and then scrubbed at his nose. So it's like a little bit less respectable looking. And he's definitely in his pajamas too, because he was just sitting in the common room. So like, and his hair's sticking up.
So I'm hoping to interact with this girl with the broom to get to the Slytherin people we know. Because I don't want to just burst into their sleeping quarters. That seems like an ill-advised thing. So if I don't know how you want, like, I'm just gonna fix my hat because that's uncomfortable, but my question was going to be if she could get Mac, and I'm wondering if Mac would maybe get Argus if they have become friends in the meantime.
Why don't you give me get what you want?
Okay. I will do it with bravery because I'm going to try to be honest and have some charisma. Coming along with that broom there, young lady. I failed entirely. So, yeah, that's unsurprising, and you can punish my character in whichever ways you see fit.
She is red, and she seems like she's going to beat you with the broom at the same time that she's going to release a war cry, but you can just leave the way you came. So if you stay, you're going to have a fight in your hands.
If we stay, will it be noisy enough that it will bring the other Slytherins out?
Yes. And all the Slytherins.
Then I'm staying, and I'm absolutely going to fight with her.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, nice way to start with minus 50 points for Gryffindor. That looks great.
Do I seem to have much investment in the standing of my house? No. What I do have investment in is interacting with
don't like you.
I don't care that they don't like me. I like everybody, and I would like to see some Slytherin action in the scene. So I'm going to get these people out into the common room if it kills me. Now, I have a spell. The bonding spell, and I'm going to bond her broomstick to her hand, which will freak her out, and she will hopefully yell, and then Mac and Argus will come running out, and they can have a scene, and we can either watch or read it.
One condition from the failed roll.
Yes.
So what is the condition that you get from this?
I guess embarrassed. I don't remember what they do, but
it's there.
Embarrassed seems like a reasonable one, so I'll take that.
Okay.
And then I can cast my spell, and then we can get our people, or no?
So roll your spell.
And Barak actually gives you -2 to magic.
Really? Why did I pick that one? That's why I needed it to be like.
That's a very interesting choice.
I don't even care. If she. Yeah, okay. So I failed that one also. So I'm now.
Wait, you did not get the 7/9?
No, I failed it entirely.
Oh.
No, because I now have the -2, right?
Yeah.
Because of the embarrassed thing?
Yeah, it's true.
So I've now rolled over from 4 XP to 1
Mhm.
again. Do I take an advancement or something?
You feel
All
free
right.
to take an advance.
So
So
I'll figure that out later while we're
Yeah.
getting to other people. Let's
so
at least get Max out here.
she basically she gets you unconscious, and she turns to Lawrence and says, get out of here. If I see you trying to ambush me again to try to give me a beating next time, I'll not withhold. Get out.
Lars is just like, wait, so Griselda is unconscious on the ground?
Yeah.
Oh. So I
I'm
think
completely unconscious?
yeah.
Basically, you
Alright.
are just out of the scene.
Oh, okay. I think Lawrence is just like backing away from the person with the angry person with a broomstick and like trying to sort of bodily carry / drag Griselda back up the staircase or whatever and being like, please don't hurt us. We're just here. We were on an adventure. Weren't gonna hurt you.
She's still on a defensive stance, she's still thinking what she's still processing what just happened, but she just threatens you.
Is there enough
to-
time to like just like slowly back away out
Yeah.
of the common room?
Yeah, she's not advancing. She's just
Okay.
getting away. So you managed to get Griselda safely to bed, and the next day she wakes up a bit flustered at being caught unaware, a bit of an embarrassment. And you notice that the brick has been replaced where it was missing. You notice on the way out. We got to the classroom the next day, and we see the first class of the year, Charms. So we see one student in particular that seems to have caught the attention of everyone by something that he's doing in Charms. So what is Argus doing, and why he's getting all these attentions and murmurs from the other first years?
Is it like, am I doing this as part of the class, or am I just showing off before the class?
I think this can be during the class, unless you want it to be something that happens in the corridors.
No, I'm like totally fine. Like we see this small boy in a Ravenclaw is blue and gold colors. Anyone remembers the colors of the Ravenclaw? It was blue and something.
Blue and bronze or blue and silver, depending on book or movie, I think.
Yeah. So we see this small boy in his blue hair, and he just like sitting like he's like meditating, but we actually see that he's like levitating above his like table, and he's like perfectly calm while doing this. He's holding his wand and just like waving it. Yes. So this is how you properly cast the Wingardium Leviosa, and you have to hold perfectly still, and you're able to like just like levitate like this. Yes. This is exactly like this, and he's like trying to turn, and then he like falls on the table. I'm fine. No worries.
So we cut to the teacher, which the Radcliffe recognized as a former Auror. And they seem not to have a lot of practice being a teacher. Their name is Enriqueta Mercedes. And Professor Mercedes is a bit exasperated at this. It's like she's really not used to being around children, and she just looks at that and says, "Right, I appreciate the determination and talent of adding somatic components to compensate for inexperience. So I guess 5 points to Ravenclaw." And she seems a bit still confused. Well, but the rest of you at least focus on the words. So let's take a turn. Each of you tells me something that you see in the Charms classroom that catches your attention. Let's start with Alistair.
Um, I think it's scrumpled up in the bin, but there is a new copy of the Muggle News.
Oh, did anyone of you get the chance to read it?
No, I don't think I've seen read it. I think he's just looking around the room and has spotted the Muggle News, or you can see it. The Muggle Papers was it called? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's there's one that wasn't today's copy is in the trash bin.
So, Griselda, what else do you see around the classroom?
Muted. There we go. What do I see? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. My guess is that I'm seeing who's sitting next to whom, and I'm noticing that like the houses are dividing naturally.
Yeah,
which is something I would like to disrupt.
Notice that there seems to be very few Slytherin. And there are only three first-year Slytherins that you can see. You can see, of course, you can also obviously see Alistair, and next to him you see Rory Tonks. That seems to be reading ahead instead of actually trying to cast the spell. And behind them, glaring at you, you can see the girl from yesterday that seems to be looking way too much at you instead of actually casting their spells. And next,
The girl from yesterday.
yes,
Which girl from yesterday?
the one that
Which
you
one?
tried to the broom.
Oh, that one. All right. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, and then you can see only one Hufflepuff, which is Emmerich, and well, the Ravenclaws seems to be almost as many as the Gryffindors, but none of them seem as much remarkable as Argus, which seems to be really casting a splash on, at least on their quick grasp of charm magic. And what does Lawrence see around the classroom?
Does Lawrence see sparks somewhere around the classroom? Like maybe someone is trying to cast a charm, but there are sparks happening instead of actual whatever the charm is supposed to be.
Yeah, there seems to be one of the other Gryffindors that seems to have a broken hand went, and they only seem to be producing some sparks, and they seem to be very frustrated. And but at least by the way that they dress, because they basically, you can notice that they only put their robes over uh, a band T-shirt. You'll get to figure that they are either Muggle born or some half blood or something of the sort.
Mhm.
Clearly, someone that came from the Muggle world.
Okay. Uh, I think Lawrence makes a note of that, and it's just like, whenever the next time he gets a chance to do something, we'll slowly try to like sit somewhere near that person. Maybe not this class, but maybe the next class.
And Argus, you have been the center of attention, but as the teacher, as Professor Enriqueta Mercedes steps in and starts to go around the places telling people what to do, you go back to your place and you're able to see who seems to be very impressed by you and who seems to be hating on your performance.
Mm, uh, I think I think the girl from the broom who seems to be shooting daggers with her eyes at this nice red-haired girl. She seems impressed that I have such a master over levitation and charm. And I don't know. Do we have anyone, or do we have any other student from Gryffindor?
Well, we have those two, and the one that seems to have the problems with the wand, but none still.
Yeah. I think we see the guy with the broken hand. He's like really looking at me that with that like, and we can like see that Argus thinks that he thinks that if only I had the not broken hand, I would like show you how we do it. And he's like,
So while you're going back to your seat, the girl approaches you, the Slytherin girl, and she compliments you. That was amazing. My name is Carla Fernandez. Who are you?
oh, nice to meet you, Carla. I'm Argus Schmidt.
Ah, it's a pleasure to meet you. You seem really talented. Are you a frequent flyer? You have your own broom?
Yes, we Ravenclaw, we like to fly, so I'm just following my house tradition.
Oh, so do you play Quidditch? I've learned about it last month and I've been fascinated by it.
Well, there are not many Quidditch fields outside of school, so I've seen it. I have to start practicing. If you would like to get together and start, practicing, maybe we can get to the team. I know that there are some teams. Maybe there will be some open spots for the first years.
I thought that would be amazing. Then we could be rivals.
Uh, uh, and we see like Argus was like hoping that she would say friends, but yeah, if that's what she wants, why not?
I mean, don't take this wrong. And she loses the smile a bit. I would love to be on the same team, but I don't think that there are mixed houses team. I think
Oh,
it's related to the point system or something like that.
yeah, I forgot that every house has its own team. Yes, so we will be rivals then, but maybe we can practice together, at least.
Yeah, then we can keep surprising each other with secret techniques.
Uh, yeah, I guess this wouldn't work either. But yeah, let's. I look forward to seeing you fly and hopefully meet you in the field.
Yeah, suppose I still have to take lessons. She seems to look sideways, you know, because I suppose people from the wizarding world they already learn to fly as soon as they can. and she seems embarrassed by this. Oh well, at least we can have the tryouts.
Yeah, well, if you need some advice or some practice with Wingardium Leviosa, you can come and find me at the Ravenclaw common room, and I can show you how to do it properly. And Argus like stares like this. Yeah, I can show you how to do it properly.
Okay, speaking of properly, why don't we see how each of you is doing with Wingardium Leviosa? So why don't each of you try to cast a spell?
We just go in character keeper order, or is there a specific?
Yeah, except Argus that Argus already did. So
that would be
What am I
Mac then.
What am I rolling with for this? Sorry, Ludo.
magic.
Just magic, right? Okay. That's a 5 minus 1, 4. Nope.
So why don't you tell us what seems to be the problems that you have with Wingardium Leviosa?
I think it's a pronunciation. Max big Scottish accent. He's not quite getting the pronunciation right, so it's more. As a result of that, it doesn't seem to be particularly levitating in any way. So he's becoming frustrated.
So Professor Mercedes approaches. Now, just relax, channel, breathe, let just the magical power flow through you. You can do this.
Are you asking me to roll again, or
No. I'm asking to see how Alistair reacts to this.
Alistair sort of he looks up and goes, you're probably right. I'm he sort of nods and looks down to the desk and feels a little bit embarrassed being picked on or picked out rather than picked on.
Expected to do this the first time. Nobody expected to do this on the first week. I expect, however, is that all of you will train, and by the end of the month, you are able to at least present some progress. And she tries to force a comforting smile, but she's like, what I'm doing? Why did they give me first years? I'm not prepared for this. So who's next?
Suppose that would be me. And I guess I'm at a flat roll because of my condition. And I got a 10. I clear it by taking something someone has said the wrong way. So someone has to say something to me that I can take the wrong way. But either way, I rolled a 10. So I'm successful on my spell.
Yeah. So you're doing very well. And Mercedes seems impressed. Oh, 5 points to Gryffindor. It seems that they are very talented first years. Congratulations.
I thank you.
Lawrence, how are you doing?
So Lawrence is like clapping at Griselda for her success, and now it's his turn. So he's got like that charms book like propped open, and he's just like looking at it, trying to make sure he's doing it right, and let's see how it goes, because we all know how Lawrence is with magic. Haha, it's a 7. I think that's a success.
Yes. You manage to levitate the feather only for a bit. It's not much. It's basically a few millimeters and it only lasts a few seconds, but everyone says that you are able to do it. And mm, Professor Mercedes tries to be more supporting of you. Don't, well, you have made excellent progress. Don't let this, well, diminish your dedication. You just need to deepen your connection to magic. I would advise that you go back on your fundamentals and try to diversify your portfolio. Try to practice different spells on a controlled environment. She quickly adds, because she realized that she gave good advice for more advanced students. Maybe not the best advice for first year Muggleborn, and she tries to correct that, but it's already a bit too late. And then she just turns around as Carla is trying to return to her place and to actually try to cast the spell without much success. So, does any of you want to do something while on class? Because Mercedes now is going with paying attention to the more difficult students, so you kind of have a bit of leeway now to go around and chat.
Argus would love to approach Griselda. Hey, I noticed you are also very good at Wingardium Leviosa. Have you practiced a lot?
Well, I try to keep a few tricks up my sleeve. You never know when they'll come in handy. So I that and a few other spells I just try to keep, in my repertoire. How about you?
Oh,
I'm Griselda, by the way.
Oh,
nice to meet you.
I'm Argus. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. Yes, of course. I like to keep a large repertoire of spells at handy at the same time. Of course, it's really good to see that at least I will have someone to talk about magic, because the others doesn't seem to be doing well here. At least it's good to see that you are competent at what you're doing.
Well, I would be happy to practice anytime. It's always nice to have a magic partner, but it is our first day, so we should.
And they didn't die.
Should take his compliment the wrong way.
Excuse me, I lost connection for a second. Can you repeat?
I lost my thought track in the middle as it was suggested that I could take what you said the wrong way, but I think you were saying something nice, and I can't imagine why I would not just respond nicely. I'll keep my condition for now and keep that in mind, but I think we should give our classmates some slack. It's our first day of school, and not everyone is going to start in the same place, but I bet there's a lot of talent in the room. I'm actually trying to maybe have you met my friend Matt?
No, I'm Ravenclaw. I only met the other Ravenclaw students. My first chance to meet with the Gryffindors and with the Slytherins.
And it's very exciting, isn't it? I'd love to meet everyone, but I have something I've been wanting to talk to Mac about. And I don't know how he is with magic actually, but he has a lot of knowledge of like magical history and beasts and things, and if we all put our heads together, all kinds of exciting things could happen. And other friends, but he's sitting over there. Would you want to go? I could introduce you.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to meet other people. So far, I've only met Carla. So why not meet the other Slytherins? They seem like a nice house, I suppose.
They have their ways. I'm fond of them. So can we walk over to where Mac is?
Before they get to me, if you don't mind, I want you to try and grab via hide and sneak that newspaper from the trash bin.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a 9. Oh no, no, it's not. It's a 7 because I've still got a -2 to cunning from being angry at the moment, but it's still a hit, so that's fine.
So how does you clear angry?
By breaking something or being hurtful to someone.
Okay, so you approach. So you have to pick one.
So So someone has spotted me as I've come back to my desk and tucked it into my my satchel.
So you see that who will be okay. I'm gonna ask the table who will be the worst person on the classroom to have seen this.
I don't feel like we know many of the NPCs well. I don't like that broom girl, so I'm all for her peeking.
Who?
I'd like to suggest it might be Lawrence, actually. Whether it's a best or worst, it does then give the characters a reason to talk.
Well, I like that. So, Lawrence, you see the friend of Giselda, the Slytherin, go rummaging through the trash and take something out and store it among their school supplies. What do you do?
I think that Lawrence is just like, what was that? That was weird. You hid something in your pocket. Is it something that you should not have? Why are you going dumpster diving in class?
Juice recognized a word from whatever he took, a word that you only learned a few weeks ago, and the word that you're not sure how to feel about. The word is muggle.
I think I don't know if Lawrence feels like particularly negatively about the word muggle. Like I thought it was just a word to describe like non-magical people, but he's like interested because that's where like his background, and he's like, oh, is that a like, what is this? It's about my people. So I think he wants to know what it is.
So do you approach? Do you approach Alistair? Do you try to take it out, or do you save the conversation for later?
I guess he'll approach Alistair and be like, "Hey, I'm Lawrence. I saw your Wingardium Leviosa wasn't so magical, but that's okay. What was that? I saw the word muggle on it. Is it about muggles? I'm a muggle."
So Mac stands and he's head and shoulders above everyone else in the room. He's probably not short of 5 foot and quite athletic in frame. Probably looks down his nose at Lawrence and says, "So, The first time you speak to me, you want to make trouble about my magic, do you?
I mean, we're all learning. Yesterday, I really failed at making light happen. Like, it did the opposite of what it meant. So, I really can't talk. But maybe we can learn together. Have you read the book?
Well, lassie, it seems you can talk in an insulting way quite well.
I don't mean to be insulting. Maybe it was just unlucky. Or maybe the wand was just like slightly off. Like, I don't know how these things work. And he looks at his wand and it's very boring looking.
Is that an apology?
Yeah, it's an apology. I apologize. It's my first day. I don't want to make an enemy.
I'll accept your apology, lassie. Thank you for taking back your hurtful words. He said, as for what it is, this isn't the time or the place. Looks at your Gryffindor colours and says, in the middle of everything and with a doesn't think before she speaks, have you met Griselda by any chance?
Have I met Griselda? Yes, I have. Are you Mac? I think she mentioned you.
I'm Alistair McLagan of the Clan McLagan. My friends get to call me Mac, and you're not my friend yet, lassie.
Acceptable. I am Lawrence Lim of no particular clan. It's nice to meet you. And he extends his hand in a very, like, please don't hurt me, you're taller than me, and kind of scary way.
Takes your hand and shakes it energetically and says, now, this isn't the time to have a conversation about this, but maybe we'll meet with Griselda later.
That sounds good. Yes, I hope she's okay. She did get a bit of a knock last night.
What did she do this time?
Well, technically, she didn't do anything. Something else did something to her.
If you're going to be looking after Griselda, then we definitely do need to be friends. I don't think one friend looking after Griselda is ever going to be enough.
Well, she's a lot from the encounter I had with her last night. But she's a Gryffindor, and she does seem like a very nice person, and I will do my best to keep her from getting into more harm. Although, in our defense, there was a person with the broom, and the broom was scary, and it was really late at night.
Aye, well, look, we'll meet later and go through it. I was in the bin, and I doubt we're supposed to be seeing it, so let's not talk about it here.
And I think Lawrence will nod and go, yes, I guess we should go back to practicing our charms.
So,
And
I guess it will be a conversation for lunch, and the class is pretty much done. But before you go to the next class, Carla seems to be measuring Argus and pulls on the sleeve on his robes. Hey, I know your type. I assume these things are the same on the wizard world and not. You seem to be the kind of person that idiots tend to pick on, and I think we should stick together because I've been getting threats, and yesterday, those two, and she points to Griselda and Lawrence, they tried to ambush me in the common room and tried to give me a beating. So if anyone causes any problems to you, just come to me, okay? And she picks her books and prepares to go to the next class.
Yeah, and Argo just like stands there, like they're like as she goes like, "Ah, yeah, bye. Yeah.
So what is the next class? So Griselda, what is the next class?
Let's see, what are the classes for first years? It looks like we learn charms, curses, which I guess would be defense against the dark arts, presumably. And well, there are defense ones as well. And like one hex and potions. So I'm going to say potions because the other significant thing seems to be potions.
So
Based on the spells in year one.
So you go down to deep into the caves in which they teach potions, and you see the teacher seems to be a jovial, tanned, muscular man, and he's going around. Welcome, welcome. My name is Caduceus Valentini, and I'm here replacing Professor Snape for the share of potions. I have little patience for the waving of wands. Here is a place where those of great intellect and willing to learn from the culture of other wizards, instead of the dogmas that are taught in the institution, have a lot to learn. So this is a place where I appreciate.
I'm losing almost every other word and sometimes whole sentences. Is anybody else?
In red. I guess it's time for second connections, maybe during the break. Okay, let's take 10 minutes break. Everyone resets connection and see if this improves. Then we see you in 10.
a hat.
Still complaining that you have connectivity issues. But it's better. Okay. So let's see if now it works. The professor Caduceus Valentini, a taller, young, tanned man, goes around introducing himself. I am Caduceus Valentini. I will be replacing Professor Snape for this year. Here in this test, you will not see much of the waving of hands of me teaching you. Here is a place where you will be able to learn from each other without the trappings of English wizardry. And he points around, and you see that is not a typical classroom, but you have instead multiple setups where you have pretty much all the supplies that you would expect to need. I want you to create stations in which you think what will be important from the others to learn from your knowledge of potions and to teach other students that come from you. And whenever you have free time, you go to the stations of other students and learn from there. Here, creativity and imagination will be rewarded. I want to teach you how to problem solve through the use of the most versatile of all magics, Potion Maker. I'll be here, and he points to a larger master station, where I have a vast supply of books, reagents, and multiple apparatus where I can give more specific clarification that you don't find other students can provide to you. But in the end, either if you are able to solve the proposal goals for the curriculum for the first year, it's all on you. So please, this is your classroom. Go ahead. So, why don't each of you tells us which setup they get and what they are teaching, or if they are not doing that yet, which station interests them and which one they approach. So let's start. Well, not to disturb Giselda's eating. So let's go reverse order. So let's start with Argus Smith. Why don't you tell us what are you trying to teach other people, or what you are interested in learning, and whose station you approach?
But those are like all of
Who
us.
did you ask that to? You were breaking up for me.
I asked the Argus. We're gonna go reverse order.
Okay.
But the kids are teaching other kids, yes?
Basically,
not the
yes.
teacher teaching us.
Yeah, the teacher is there to give clarifications, to lend tones, to prepare reagents. Yeah.
Wow. I think Argus doesn't know any potions, but he's too proud to admit that he has to learn from anyone. So he just approaches Professor. Do you have his name? Potion. Valentini.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just approaches Professor Valentini, grabs like the class book, gets to some station, one of them, and like opens the book, like browses the book, and we see he like stops at the bubbling potion, bubbling beverage, and he thinks that maybe I could use it later to pull a trick on someone. I don't know. Yeah, let's try to do it. And he just like looks in the book and tries to like mix and match all the ingredients, and he's trying to make like the bubbling beverage.
Uh, Professor Valentini raises an eyebrow as you sit in the corner alone doing that, but he does not say anything. Kind of hoping that you're gonna learn from this mistake. What do we see Lawrence doing?
I think Lawrence is looking around, kind of unsure. Like he's like, okay, this is like chemistry. We had chemistry kits in my Muggle household. I can just pick up some of these interesting colored potions and put them together. This is a great idea. So he finds himself a station, probably like, let's just say he's in the middle of the room. And just has like an array of, I don't know what the stations are like, but maybe there's just like different flasks with different colors. And he's just like looking at them, maybe flipping through a book. But I don't think he's actually done anything yet, except maybe added one to a cauldron. And it's just like staring at it going, is this a stupid idea? Or do I do it because I can? What's the worst that can happen?
And you see a few people approach, and one of them seems to be a Hufflepuff, and he says, "Oh, I heard about this. You are trying to do a distillation. I read that is very helpful if you want to get the best of more rare reagents."
Yes. And Lawrence is totally faking it. Yeah, we're gonna distill this red thing and make it bubble, because he's looking over and seeing that like Angus has something bubbling, or Argus, sorry, has something bubbling.
And you see another Slytherin, a very nerdy one that makes Alistair look like not a nerd. Rory Tonks approaches. Oh, I always wanted to treat that. I got once a chemistry book, and I really wanted to try a lot of things there. Oh, let's do it together. Let's do it together. And he seems really excited. And the other student, the Hufflepuff, introduces himself. I'm Emmerich, anyway. People usually don't like that I have an interest on those things.
I think Lawrence is just like giggling, and has, since there are now people around him, you know, like buoyed by the courage and enthusiasm of fellow people who don't know anything, has just like picked up a thing at random and poured it into his cauldron. Don't know what's gonna happen.
What does Griselda have to teach, or what does she wants to learn?
Griselda actually is not interested in either. She wants to talk to Mac. She's been like trying to get to Mac since last night and is increasingly agitated. And potions are useful, but if the teacher's not going to teach us in the class, we could just as well use the book anywhere else. So Mac may or may not be receptive to being talked to during class. But I think Griselda goes up to Mac and is like, hey,
I guess
really glad to see you.
I guess the obvious follow-up is: does Mac have their own station in which they are teaching people something, or they are going around?
Mac isn't trying to make a magic potion. He's putting together something which smells exactly like the manure of Hebridean black dragon, which is very useful if you want not to be attacked in the woods. So this is probably more stinky than anything that Griselda has in her kit at this present moment in time.
Just makes it all the more interesting. Mac. That's delightfully foul.
Aye, it's very useful if you want to make sure no one goes near any of the sheep's fields out in the Highlands. You put this around and no one comes there because they think there's a Hebridean black.
I can see why. I would be thoroughly repelled if I were not so determined to talk to you. Excellent work. Can I give you a hand?
He says, aye. And he'll put something, this manure substance that he holds. He says, hold this for me a minute. It's in a bowl, but he said,
all right,
hold this.
Take the bowl.
And at this point, Matt's going to try and shrink it so it can be put into a small little box for later. I'm going to try and roll some magic.
I realize my hands aren't on screen, so my holding my hands out in a bowl shape is useless, but they were being held out in a bowl shape.
Mac is not the greatest magician in the world, so he fails on this roll. And I think as it's about to shrink, all of a sudden it expands and explodes outwards, maybe covering you a little. He goes, I've got it wrong.
That's all right. It's our first try. It's our first day. And who doesn't want to smell like a black Hebrides? Right? So I consider it a band of honor, but I might need to shower. But
it'll come off eventually in a week or so. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
I met your
I would do
friend.
anything for a friend.
I met your friend earlier.
Oh.
She's really rude, but what did you want? I heard you went out adventuring.
Yes, that's why I'm here. And I don't think, is it she and not he, Lawrence?
Sorry. Wait, apologies. Lawrence.
Okay. I don't think he means to be rude. I think he's just a bit clueless, but we'll get him there. We did have a bit of an adventure, and it involved falling down a lot of dusty stairs and the trailing markings of what could have been a dragon. You would know better than I would, but something very large and imposing. A woman with a self-writing quill that was saying mysterious things that I think we should discuss outside this classroom, and my getting knocked out with a broom in an incident we should also discuss outside this classroom. I would really like to clue you in on this. Do you think we could get together sometime today in a more secluded, or at least noisier and therefore less conspicuous area?
I think we probably can, and I think I found another one of those news sheets. It was screwed up in the bin of the last class. So why don't we meet?
This is no good.
Why don't we meet
I don't
later?
see anything good coming.
Why don't we meet over lunch, and it'll give you time
Where and when?
Says, well, over lunch. Let's maybe meet in. Says let's take lunch in one of the precincts on the lawn. So that'll be quite nice, and it'll be open air, which you should probably be in for the next few days, lassie.
Yeah, that sits well with me. If you have any good, remedies that you want to pass along in the meantime, I would employ them. But if not, it's fine. It's fine.
Who is the person with the broom who put a curse on you?
That's one of the things I feel like we should talk about outside the room, because, and I'm not even really sure what happened. They might have just hit me with the broom. I don't even know. It all happened very fast. But I want to tell you the whole story when there aren't quite so many prying ears around. I'm not sure who to trust yet. But I think lunch is a good idea. And quick mechanical thing, Ludo, I have an advancement that I haven't taken yet.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the advancements I can take is getting a magical object.
Yeah.
And one of the magical objects I wrote down all the ones I'm interested in, and they're all very handy. But I'm leaning towards a two-way mirror that I would give like the other half to Max so that we could communicate.
Yeah, we can retroactively say that this is something that you got from Diagonale, the hope of losing to a friend.
Yeah, the other things were the invisibility cloak or enchanted mirror time turner, but I think I'd rather have a communication device than anything else for now. Plus,
So
I roll badly enough that I'll probably get the
you
rest
can
by the end of the
spend the
session.
advance on that and give it
So I'll meet you for lunch, but here, take this. And we should be able to communicate from wherever we are on the grounds, if I understand it correctly.
Ooh, exciting.
But please don't tell anyone. You know, I keep my things a bit secret. So
Certainly. I'll keep your secrets. That's what friends do for each other.
that's right. And the others will come around, and eventually maybe they'll be worthy of calling you Mac as well. But I'm happy I've made the team. I think I'm going to ask to be excused and at least get the actual physical debris of this off of me in the short term.
Probably for the best. It can't stain.
Do you want me to try to collect it for you, or for your dragoning pursuits?
I was trying to make it for you. I was thinking that you could probably do something very interesting with a lot of small stink pellets.
I'm quite certain that I could.
But it didn't go right. We'll have to try again next time.
Yeah, we could even try again while I still smell like this, and then if it happens again, there will be no change.
Oh,
I'm thinking. But
no,
in the meantime,
I don't want to be anywhere near you when you smell this bad.
But that's not quite fair, Mac.
At that, Professor Valentini approaches you. Well, good job, McLagan. You seem to have gotten perfectly into the spirit of the thing. This is a very useful skill to learn, and it does not take much, well, let's say, the theoretical knowledge, and it has obvious practical situation. It is the kind of behavior that I expect to see in this class. 5 points to Slytherin. And the same to you, Mr. Lim, and 5 points to Gryffindor. And then he turns his eyes towards Argos. Now, Argos, you are trying to get the knowledge that you need from this class purely from the book. So let's go first with a get knowledge roll. So let's roll plus intellect to see if you can get at least the theory right.
Sure. It's a 10.
Oh, good. So you can actually get the right answer from the book. So what are you asking the book?
How do I make this useful? Meaning, what are the proper ingredients to crafting this potion?
Yeah, you get an idea of the right ingredients, and while you don't know how they are prepared, you go to the master setup, and you can see where the Professor Valentini has already got some things as examples, and you just take enough that you think you need, and you go back and you are armed with what you think is the proper knowledge and the proper ingredients. So this should be easy, right?
Of course.
So you try to brew the potion now.
Do I need to expend luck or not?
No, you have the right ingredients and you have got the knowledge that you need. Now let's see if you can put it to practice.
Well, let's see. It's 10 as well. I was hoping to catch up to the others with the experience, but not today.
And Professor Valentini seems to raise his thick monobrow, and he says, very impressive indeed, Mr. Schmitz. Now, you have showed that you have managed to, in your isolation, to get right the principles of alchemy and transmutation that are just needed to be the catalysis of a simple potion like that. Now, this is a perfectly example of a very simple potion. However, and is indeed a potion that you're gonna need, every single one of you is going to be needed to master, to pass potions for the first year. However, you produce these fruits of your labor in isolation. You should be able to share what you learned with the other students and learn on the other subjects from them. I'm going to give you 10 points for a Ravenclaw, but I expect much more from you next session, and I expect you to be able to tell other students how did you manage to do this. Can I count on you?
Of course, Professor Valentini. I was just making sure that I have the proper knowledge to make this potion. Now I can share it with the others as you expected. I will be much more looking into cooperation next time. I promise. You can definitely count on me.
Looking forward to it. Now, each of you, I'm going to give you some reading assignments that I expect you to develop over the course of the next 2 weeks. And afterwards, I expect you to explain to other students what you learned from your reading assignments. And then the students that are able to perform this task will be taking them on something special. And that's as much I'm willing to disclose now. Well, I guess it's time for lunch. Don't worry about cleaning up. I can handle that. I suppose that you must be all very angry, and he lurks to Alistair's station, or some of you not angry at all. So, who is having lunch together?
Did I get the chance to go and like wash at least the chunks of this manure off of me yet, or no?
Yes, there is a cleaning station in the corner.
I don't know if the cleaning spell works on this stuff or not. I'm certainly down for someone trying to cast it, or for me trying to cast it or whatever else. But I know that Mac and I have plans for lunch outside. I don't know what everyone else is doing.
I think Lawrence wants to know
I
about
would probably
that.
not be inviting anyone.
Lawrence wants to know about that newspaper. So
are you going to try to follow me? Because you were rude to Mac, which therefore makes me not want to bring you. Not because I dislike you, but because I'm trying to keep Mac
right
on my side, and I don't want to displease him.
I think that Lawrence thinks that Mac is like at least neutral towards him at this point. So he'll follow Griselda, but kind of like try not to say anything to Mac until he looks like he's not so intimidating to Lawrence. Because I imagine Lawrence is like a kind of short, scrawny looking kid who's like intimidated by magical people still.
He's got a way about him. I guess what I sort of meant was that I would try to stop you from following me
Oh.
because I want to have this conversation with Mac, and I'm afraid he's not going to want to have it in front of you since he's already told me he met my rude friend
Yes.
referring to you. So I know he doesn't like you.
Yes.
And I am like the one thing in the school that I'm careful about is Mac.
Yes.
Right? Like I don't want to piss Mac off. I try to do the things that Mac thinks will be good. I let him cover me in manure apparently. Because you missed this in the first thing. He like decked a guy for me who was being mean on the train and like won my undying loyalty by standing up for me like a gentleman.
Excellent.
So I have no problem as a player with your character attempting to follow mine and not be found, but I will try to dissuade you if I see you.
I think maybe you could try to dissuade me, and then I can go over to Argus and have lunch with Argus, since I haven't really talked to Argus yet.
Also fine. Just letting you know what my character's perspective is.
I don't know if there's a way that Griselda can like signal to Lawrence, like if she sees Lawrence trying to follow her, maybe be like, shake of the head, something like, I don't know.
I think Lawrence needs to make a hide and sneak roll to follow.
Considering everyone else scanning, this will end up badly.
All right, I'll make a hide and sneak roll for Lawrence then. And
okay, go ahead.
Roll plus cunning. To be like the one that I like succeed, and I'll be like, why? All right. Wait, no. Why did it do that? It's a 9 minus 1 is an 8. So
what do you choose?
I mean, I think I'll pick that Griselda knows that I'm trying to follow.
I will say not Griselda, because that will mean the failed, but Argus actually notices. So we see Alistair and Griselda going out for private lunch, and we see Lawrence sneaking behind them. Now, Argus, why are you not having lunch with the other Ravenclaws?
I see why. Argus was brought up into thinking that he's above the others, and he still has this like feeling of being slightly above the others. But this other kid, so the other Ravenclaws, he's to like show them that he's like better than them. So he like at first like sits alone. So he just like takes the next table, and he wants the other Ravenclaws to come to sit to his table, because he cannot go and sit with the other table where they are sitting. I think he's a little bit prick, but he will learn that he should not be. But yeah, so that's why he's not sitting with the other Ravenclaws.
Yeah, and that's why from his lonely position, he's able to see Lawrence sneaking behind someone, and then you see that it's Griselda and Alistair that really the Slytherin and the Gryffindor seem to be having a private lunch, and there is another Gryffindor sneaking on them. And as you're watching this, Carla sits in front of you, and she seems to have brought an extra dessert to you and puts it in front of you. I'm so glad that we are able to have a conversation. As well, people, let's be honest, you are the first person in Hogwarts that has talked to me as if I was a person and not a rat that had infiltrated their castle. Seriously, I don't understand why the other muggles can bear it.
Well, we share an interest, so that's something very good. You like Quidditch, I like Quidditch. We both like flying. We're just like-minded. Hey, like you said that, and then like pointing at Lawrence, you said that like they attacked you last night, and I'm just like pointing at Lawrence, sneaking to Griselda. They behave like awfully like mysterious, don't you think?
What is wrong with this people? I thought that I understood what happened last night, but I'm becoming more and more confused. You see, some third years they threatened to beat me every day until I left Hogwarts, and I've been paranoid since that. And if they come for me, they're gonna get a bloody nose. And when I saw them, I thought that they were with them, but I don't know. I think Lawrence is also a muggle, so I don't think he might be like that.
So maybe this was just a big misunderstanding. Maybe we should go and straighten it up. Maybe we can all be kind of friends if you are Muggle and Lawrence is Muggle. You can support each other.
Yeah, I kind of hit the weird one with a broom yesterday. I should at least apologize.
Yeah, let's. I think they went up behind the corner. At least that's what Lawrence went. So maybe we can go and talk to them.
Also, they were covered. I did not tell you yesterday, but they were completely covered head to boots in dust. So I really have no idea what they are doing. So I guess we cut to what they are doing. So we cut to Alistair and Griselda. So where are you, the two of you, having lunch in private?
Mac proposed a specific area outside, I think. David?
Yeah, one of the, excuse me, one of the precinct areas. So it's sort of all in around us, but there's sort of a lawn and a herb garden. So Mac is sitting down, scribbling potion notes out.
Okay, so we're there together at this point, or am I walking up to you?
But yeah,
At
however,
the place where you're scribbling your notes.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out the order people are following other people who are watching other people, and I'm just trying to figure out the timeline of arrivals and what gets discussed before everyone's together. And
it certainly feels
I've gotten a bit muddled, I think.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, just a hair. One door opens and people chase, and then another one, and they're coming the other way.
So
anyway, I'm just going to sit down and start talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you were going to propose something?
No, I think Grizz and Mac have probably got time to speak to begin with before anyone else turns up. But probably Lawrence might be close enough to hear.
All right. I'm just going to try to go through the bullet points of mine because I want to hear what happened in your newspaper and I want to hear what your thoughts on everything are. And I don't know how long we're going to have here. Last night I went exploring in the castle. I'm not going to bother to try to justify it to you. You know why I did it. It's because that's what I do. I explore things. I find secret passageways. It's a Griselda thing. So I was trying to find some secret passageways, and this new, I guess we're all new, but even newer than us somehow, guy showed up, and he seemed interested in exploring, and I'm friendly. So we found a secret